Hey everyone, we're back, and today we're doing a review of season 5 of The Boys. I just got done watching the season finale, and here are my thoughts. This is going to be as spoiler free as possible. Yes, we're going to talk about some of the plot details and stuff a little bit, but I want to try to keep it as spoiler free as possible. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Season 5, in my opinion, had some highs and had some lows. So let's talk about the strengths. Right off the bat, the season got off to a very hot start. It showed the tension, it showed gruesome kills. It was actually very entertaining to the point where it hooked the audience back into, okay, this is it. This is the final season of The Boys. We aren't holding any bars. We are going to kill off major characters right away. And it did that. It made that statement. It said, listen, I don't care if you like these characters or not. If you're connected to them, if you are rooting for them in their arc, in their turns, prepare to just see them get obliterated. And it's gruesome. We do have a lot of gruesome scenes in here. We do have a lot of gory scenes in here. And it's to The Boys level. Another good part in here, or another strength of this, was Anthony Starr's acting as Homelander and Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy. They continue to build upon their roles in the previous ones, in the previous season and previous seasons. Now, Anthony Starr is the shining star in this entire series. He has been that frontline actor who's basically been carrying this series for most of the iteration. And a lot of people look at it as Karl Urban was doing the heavy lifting. But Karl Urban was that introduction phase to get you in. And then Anthony Starr was the thing that kept you into the series. And for the most part, Anthony Starr is pretty good in this series. He continues to have that menacing role. And he continues to build upon what he's already created with Homelander. We do see a lot of similarities between Anthony Starr and certain aspects within history and key figures and current events. And like I said, Soldier Boy does a fantastic job, played by Jensen Ackles. You're getting what you're getting out of him. So those, in my opinion, were the highlights of the season. Not a lot of highlights, to tell you the truth. And this is where we get to the lowlights. This is where we come to the downfalls and the negatives of this season. And I hate to be extremely picky. I hate to look at it and tear this apart, but Eric Kripke, you're doing it yet again. You start off strong with a series and you struggle with finishing it. I really had hoped that this was going to be more in line with Supernatural than it was with Heroes, because he did not finish Heroes off well at all. Supernatural, I was like, okay, that's a decent ending, I'll give it that. Revolution wasn't really the greatest ending either, and he continues to build upon his repertoire of starting off strong and not capitalizing at that end. So we have that situation. In this last episode, a lot of the set pieces, especially that final scene, that big final conflict scene, the set pieces looked extremely cheap, and it just looked like it lacked the budget. I don't know if the budget was directly given to all the gore and the special effects, but everything else in that last scene, in that critical fight scene, left me underwhelmed. However, when we're talking about everything else in that lines, Eric Kripke continues to bring back fan favorites of his past. And don't get me wrong, I love Jerry Paletki, I love Misha Collins, and I love Jensen Ackles. And there was an episode where it was just fan service for Supernatural fans. But it didn't go anywhere. It was nice to see certain kills of certain real life actors in this episode. But this is the episode where you start seeing that downhill crash for the rest of the season. And I really wish he would have finished off well. The other thing that really irked me is more of the commentary on what is happening in today, because we're already getting it shoved down our throats through day and day, whether it's through social media, the news, whether you get it through TV, reading it, or social media. It's too on the nose to current events. And yes, this was filmed before a lot of things were happening, but this was also based off of things that were already happening and leading into what is currently happening in today's day and age. And we are seeing a lot of times where you usually have reality imitating art, or art imitating reality. This is kind of the point where it's kind of diverging amongst each other, and you're seeing it played out in real life and in The Boys. And to me, that just, it was interesting of a take, but it was just, at some point, enough is enough, and I don't want to see a lot of this stuff. Yes, there are a lot of symbolisms between characters and real life figures, whether past or present, but it's one of those things where it's maybe a little bit of current event fatigue, and it's not really reading the audience too well. And my last issue with this season is more so, in fact, with an issue that I've had previously. We're continuing to build upon things, and we're continuing to build and add more infrastructure into the Boys universe. But when it comes to the main aspect of it, things are getting wasted. For example, they put out 2 seasons of Gen V. They're talking about Vought Rising. They're talking about certain things here and there, but they don't really have an impact on what's happening. You bring characters in from Gen V into season 5 and you're sidelining them. There's no real purpose for them. And then how they go towards the future and expect, hey, this is what's happening with our characters who survived and how they're moving forward, doesn't really give you that satisfying of a taste of a payoff. Yes, you do get a little small glimpse at what's going on with Huey in Starlight, but like, what about everything else? You do see Kamiko a little bit, and Kamiko was fantastic in this season. She is also one of the standouts that I forgot to mention beforehand. But it's like, what are we doing with the rest of these characters? Why is Ryan all of a sudden coming up out of nowhere after you sidelined him for a while? Most people forgot about Ryan's purpose in this series. And we already had a feeling that Ryan was going to come back at the end. ultimately, this season, it was average at best. This is not how I wanted to end The Boys season 5. I was really looking forward to this. I was really intrigued in Daveed Diggs' new character, but he was more annoying than anything. So that's my thoughts on season 5 of The Boys. That is streaming now. The full season is streaming now on Amazon Prime. Have you seen The Boys? And what did you think about it? Did you enjoy the finale? Do you wish that it would have taken a different approach? And whatever approach that it would have taken, how would you have handled it? What kind of ending would you have liked to see from The Boys? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments down below.